Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Sauce Boss Construction. Jerome here, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are going to give the young Jamaican guys who are in their 20s some tips on how they can get started in investing in real estate. But before we go into the video, I would like for you to give this video a like, and please consider to subscribe to my channel and share this video. So before we go into the video, I would like to give you a synopsis of my journey before I give you the tips to get your to start investing in the real estate. So my journey in the real estate started out in 2020. I bought a property back in Mandeville, and how I started to invest in real estate, or how I get involved, is because I was planning on to buy a car first. So back in 2014, right, I used to work with a company before I went off to college, and after I finished college in 2019, after I finished college, I wasn't working for a period of like 4 months, and then at the beginning of 2020, I got a job, and then I decided that I want to buy a car. So while I was working, I was keep on pushing that I want to buy a car, and then I stopped to think about it for a minute, and then I was like, should I buy a car or should I buy a piece of property? So I think about it for like a 2 weeks, 3 weeks time span. Then I decided that I would go ahead and buy a piece of property. All right. So while I was thinking about it, I went to the NHT to get some more information on how to buy a property, or how to use them to finance in buying my property. So after I went to the NHT, they gave me like a little brochure that I can use to get all the necessary documents that I need to give them to buy a piece of property. All right, so after that, COVID hit, and then I was like, should I continue to go ahead with my decision to buy this property, or should I just put it off until like a year later or two? So I decided that I want to do this, not knowing that the pandemic will last for a very long time. But through it all, I prevailed. I bought this property in Mandeville. I used the NHT and the bank. I won't say the bank, but I used the NHT and the bank to purchase this property. So while I was on my journey to a homeowner, I got a little pitfall where I was buying another property, and I sent all the money to my lawyer, and then now I did the evaluation. When the evaluation came back, the price was the price for the land was selling lower. It's like they did the comparables, like say for instance the property that's close in proximity to the property that I want to buy, that I'm interested in, they are selling like less than the amount that I am buying it for. So say for example, the land that I was interested in at the time, I was getting it for 3.8 million or 4 million thereabout, and the land was basically valued for 2.5. So after signing, after doing all that, sending the money to my lawyer, and getting back the evaluation, um, the bank said, my lawyer said that the bank is not going to finance such a low property since it's below the market value, right? And what they are asking for. So as I said, they are asking for 4 million for this property, and the property is basically valued 2.5 million. So I end up losing a lot of money on that deal, but knowing knowing that I still want to invest in real estate, so I went ahead, seek out another property, and then I came across this developer who is basically buying a lot of properties in the Mandeville area. He develops them and then he resell them for a higher cost. So when I went to look at this property, I went with the owner of the developer. I went with the developer to look at the property, and he basically looked at me and said, because I met him over the phone like a day or two before, and then we met in person, and he was like, I thought it was a older man looking for property. And he said to me that, I didn't know that you are so young. And I'm like, yep. And he said to me that you are basically doing the right thing, of buying land. So I went ahead, I did all the necessary work, did the survey, did the evaluation, and all of that, putting all those documents to the bank, and then now I was be able to acquire this property at a later date. But I want to implore these young Jamaicans who are in their 20s and they want to get started out in investing in the real estate in the Jamaican market, to basically, whatever you are thinking or whatever you are planning on to do, just do it, because the price of the properties in Jamaica right now, in which, as we can see out there in the media space, is that the Jamaican real estate market is very booming right now. That means prices for the properties down there, they are skyrocketing, very skyrocketing right now. So I would implore anyone out there who are looking to buying a piece of land or buying a house, they should get started, because even from a few years from now, the price are just continuing to go up. They are not coming down, they are going to go up. And a lot of overseas investors are looking to buy into Jamaica, and trust me, they are buying a lot of properties in Jamaica. It's because it's a tourist destination, and a lot of persons want to come to the island and enjoy themselves or just to retire. And also there's a lot of returning residents going back home from whichever country they are coming from, especially persons like from England. They are going back home, and they want to invest in real estate. They want to buy properties before they actually go back to Jamaica, so that they can live comfortably, right? So if you as a young Jamaican in your 20s and you want to get started in real estate, I would recommend reading this book. It's called Real Estate Investment in Jamaica by Sidney Davis. it has a lot of very full, very important information, and that you can use to guide your investment journey in the real estate space. And also, persons who are living overseas can purchase this book on Amazon. I would put the link in the description of this video to buy this book on Amazon. It's very important that you educate yourself before you delve into something that you don't understand. And what I can tell you is that Jamaica real estate market, it is very different from what you're used to. Like, if you're living overseas, they do things very different down there. So I would advise anyone going into the real estate market to purchase this book on Amazon. It is very useful, and it has a lot of ton of information to help you to kickstart your investment journey in the real estate space. So these tips that I'm going to give you guys, I hope you guys are taking, get your notebook, get your pen, get your notebook, and let's run a marathon, because I have a ton of information that I want to share with you guys, so that in the future, if you're planning on buying a real estate, you don't meet the same pitfall that I went through to acquire my first property. Being that I acquire my first property, I'm looking also to buy another investment property in Jamaica in the near future. So, and I will update you guys on that. So I just want to share these tips with you guys, that's in your 20s, and how you can get started in the real estate space. All right, so tip number 1 is saving for your down payment, right, and closing costs. Most persons um, would probably think that you cannot have any money, and you just want to invest in real estate without money. That's not the case. You have to have some form of money tucked away for your down payment and your closing costs, because in the process of acquiring your real estate, you are going to you have to have a down payment and your closing costs, because if you don't have those money at hand, then you are likely to be in a pitfall. Because, say for instance, you have the down payment but you don't have the closing costs, then that will force you to back out of a deal, which I think you will lose more money if you backed out of the deal, rather than just having all the money, the down payment and the closing costs, right? And while you're in the process, if you have an attorney, your attorney can also help you to figure out those costs, right? And it's super important that you have your down payment and your closing cost money tucked away, so that in the event that you are going through the process, you don't want to stop and then you lost everything. So that's very important. Also, another tip I want to share with you guys is to educate yourself. Seek information, not just from your neighbors or your friends or your relatives. It is very super important that you educate yourself on the process of acquiring real estate. And as I said before, with the book Real Estate Investment in Jamaica, written by Sidney Davis, it's a wonderful book. You can find a ton of information from there to kickstart your investing journey. So it's super important that you educate yourself, because if you don't educate yourself, you are setting up yourself for a major destruction. So basically, educating yourself is getting all the knowledge at hand, going into buying real estate, because at the end of the day, you don't want to lose your money, your hard-earned money, by just listening to word of mouth. And most times they will tell you the wrong process. So it's always best to educate yourself, do your due diligence, and do your research. There's a ton of information. I know from what I have experienced before, a lot of Jamaican website or companies website, they don't really update that much. But if you can just browse the internet, browse on YouTube, and another thing, I don't think a lot of Jamaicans like put out their content and on the social media space in buying real estate. So if you can like do a lot of researches and so forth, you probably will come up across one or two videos with one person probably telling you the process in acquiring real estate in Jamaica, because I am pretty sure that a few years from now, Jamaica would probably be the number one destination to invest in real estate in the Caribbean. It's very important, guys, that you research and know the different tenancy which you are going to see in your sales agreement. Basically, research what is a common law title or a tenants in common. You have to know the difference between those. So because when you are in the process and your lawyer is basically going to ask you which one of those tenancy you want to choose, you have to basically be knowledgeable about which one that's the best fit for your situation. All right. Now, the third tip that I want to share with you, and this out of all the tips that I've shared with you so far, this one is very super important, is that never signed a sales agreement without doing the evaluation on a property. And I will stress that again, never signed a sales agreement without doing the evaluation on a property. Reason being, as I shared with you earlier on in this video, when you are buying real estate and the value of the property is less than the amount the seller is asking for, the bank is not going to give you the money to buy that property. They are just not going to invest their money in buying that property. Even moreover, say for instance, you the down payment is like 5% or 10% of the sale value of the property. Say so for instance, you buy a property for 3.5 million, right? And the down payment is basically 10%. 10% of 3.5 million is basically $350,000, right? So let's say you went ahead, you put the money in your lawyer account, in your attorney account, and then you get you paid up all that money, signed sales agreement, and then when you get back the evaluation, the property is valued lesser than the amount that the seller is asking for. One of two things you can do is basically, it is either you can back out of the deal or you are going to come up with more money out of pocket to complete the deal, which I'm pretty sure that most persons are not financially stable enough to come up with more money out of pocket. So it's super important that you do not sign the sales agreement without doing your evaluation on the property, because that will cost you a lot of money. And don't ever think that your attorney is going to basically tell you everything, right? So you have to just research. As I said before, research your information, go out there with the confidence that you know what you're doing. Because if in, for instance, my case where I didn't have prior knowledge in buying real estate, that's how comes I lost a lot of money in the first transaction, right? Because I didn't know that I was not supposed to sign the sales agreement or sending my attorney the money in her account. So, and I was doing all this work, signing sales agreement and all that before doing the evaluation. So when I get back the evaluation, I was so shocked that I wasn't able to come up with more money towards the down payment, right? So that is super important, guys. Always do your research, and also never sign a sales agreement without doing your evaluation. And also to ensure that you and your lawyer go over the clauses. Ensure that you understand these clauses in the sales agreement, okay? And also, the fourth tip I want to leave with you guys is check. As I said, do your due diligence. Ensure that this person that is selling you the property, you can basically go to the ask the seller for a copy of the title, because in fact they should give you a copy of the title to ensure that he or she is the rightful owner of this property. So what you can do is basically take a copy of that title, or you can ask them for, if they don't have a copy of the title, what you can basically do is ask them for the valuation, the volume and folio number, right? You ask them for the volume and folio number. What you can do with the volume and folio number is take it to the National Land Agency, NLA, give them that volume and folio number, and they will basically put those numbers in the system, and you can ask them for a copy of the title, and that will basically tell you who is the rightful owner of this property, right? Even say for instance you are on family land and you want to acquire your own certificate of title, that can be done, but I will do another video on how to acquire your certificate of title if you are planning to acquire land on what's called your family land, right? So I will do another video in the future on that. So it is super important, guys, when in investing in the Jamaican real estate, because if you can see now, there's a lot of developments going on, especially in St. Thomas. I am on Instagram where I see this place called Suncoast Beach Club. Oh my god, it's breathtaking, guys, and I really love to see these developments going on in Jamaica, because it helps to boost tourism, and it also helps to boost foreign overseas investors that want to own a piece of the rock in Jamaica, because as you know, Jamaica is very beautiful. A lot of beaches, a lot of recreational activities, a lot of fun, and a lot of persons basically love Jamaica. Whether you are from even what I've learned also is there are a lot of Africans in Jamaica. They are basically enjoying their time and enjoying the sunshine, and they just want to have a really good time in Jamaica, right? Because remember, we Jamaicans are descendants from Africa, and we like to see when persons from Africa coming into Jamaica and having a really good time, right? So it's super important, guys. It's really important, and I'm here to help you guys getting your tips on how to invest in the real estate space in Jamaica. Another tip that I want to touch on basically is the land does not grow. And what does that I mean by that is, since the beginning of creation and God created the earth, we haven't seen anywhere where we have created any land, right? Any land space. What are you going to do? Are you going to create land at sea? Which I think it's very to nearly impossible to do that. So the land does not grow, but the demand for land is growing, right? So as you can see, the demand for land is growing in Jamaica, where a lot of persons investing in the real estate. So I would encourage anyone in their 20s to get started in investing in real estate, because it not just for yourself, but it's also for future generations and your kids, and also your kids, right? Your grandkids. Because say for instance, if you die, your kids will take your property, and it just continues, right? So and also year to come, those properties will basically appreciate in value over time. So I would encourage anyone in their 20s looking into buying real estate in Jamaica, go ahead, do your research and get it done, because I'm pretty sure that you will not regret making such decision, being that you are very young and you can basically take any risk that you want to, because in the future you will look back and say to yourself that you have made a wonderful choice of becoming a homeowner. All right, so I hope you like this video, and I hope you share this video, and remember, if you haven't subscribed as yet, please consider subscribing to my channel, Sauce Boss Construction and Real Estate, and I will see you guys in the next video.